An unprecedented crisis has erupted in the United Kingdom, and its epicenter isn't in the opposition benches or on the streets, but right at the heart of government, number 10, Downing Street. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, once hailed as the man who would bring stability back to the country, now finds himself at the center of a scandal that threatens to destroy his career, fracture his party, and rewrite the history of Brexit. Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to keep supporting our work. It all began at the G7 summit, where Starmer had hoped to shine on the international stage. Instead, he was publicly humiliated in a moment that quickly went viral. Donald Trump, attending the summit as a guest, openly accused Starmer of selling Britain back to Brussels. Eyewitnesses report Trump shouting, "Are you seriously giving your country back to the EU?" His voice echoed through the room. The silence was immediate. Starmer, stunned and speechless, was escorted out of the diplomatic circle. But behind that moment lay something even more serious, a secret agreement that Starmer had allegedly arranged with EU leaders. According to leaks, the deal involved the partial reintegration of the UK into EU structures. It included the return of EU regulatory standards, sharing sensitive intelligence data with Brussels, opening UK borders to young Europeans under special visa scheme, and committing British taxpayer money to joint EU military operations. All of this, without parliamentary debate, without public consultation, and without transparency. As news of the agreement began circulating among diplomatic circles, King Charles III responded. Alarmed by what he had learned, he requested a private audience, not with the Prime Minister, nor his ministers, but with Nigel Farage. The sight of Farage entering Clarence House under tight security was the first clear sign that something significant was unfolding. Farage carried a confidential dossier, which, according to sources, contained evidence that Starmer was attempting to quietly undo core elements of Brexit without informing Parliament. The dossier included legal drafts, emergency clauses, and implementation protocols that excluded parliamentary oversight entirely. The king, who rarely intervenes in political affairs, expressed private and direct concern. This wasn't a political opinion, it was a constitutional alarm. If the deal proceeded without public knowledge, it could trigger a constitutional crisis where Parliament was sidelined and the 2016 mandate was effectively erased. A carefully worded but firm message was sent from the palace to Downing Street. There was no need for public statement. The message was received as a quiet royal veto. The agreement was immediately suspended. Britain's participation in G7 strategic discussions was put on hold. And inside number 10, chaos broke loose. Keir Starmer returned to London in total silence. He isolated himself with his closest advisors, demanding access to staff phones, signed loyalty pledges, and internal non-disclosure agreements. He began accusing his own ministers of being moles leaking information to Farage and the press. He even requested intelligence briefings on possible links between his cabinet and the royal household. Meanwhile, Farage made no public statement. No press conferences. No interviews. Just silence. But that silence spoke volumes. His allies, however, were quietly releasing documents to hand-picked journalists. And day after day, new revelations emerged, each more damning than the last. One of the most explosive documents revealed that the agreement included emergency powers, allowing the government to sign future treaties with the EU without parliamentary approval, under the justification of national cohesion. Another clause scrapped reciprocity in data sharing, granting Brussels access to sensitive UK intelligence without limitations. This was no longer just a political issue. To many, it looked like an attempt to impose stealth integration, bordering on authoritarianism. The public reaction was swift and fierce. Protests broke out in Birmingham, Manchester, and Kent. Online petition sites crashed due to overwhelming traffic. And across social media, hashtags like #StarmerBetrayal and #BrexitSabotage trended for days. One man outside Parliament shouted, "We voted to leave, and now they are dragging us back without telling us." And it wasn't just Conservative voters, many Labour supporters felt equally betrayed. Inside the Labour Party, the fallout was total. Major donors pulled funding. MPs began drafting letters of no confidence. And the so-called Red Wall, Labour's northern heartland, began to crumble. In a leaked WhatsApp message between Labour MPs, one simply wrote, "This isn't damage control. This is collapse. As Starmer struggled to contain the rebellion, Donald Trump kept stoking the fire from the United States, saying, "I told Starmer to his face, you don't surrender your country like that. Britain needs strength, not weakness." And perhaps the most remarkable part of this entire saga is that Nigel Farage didn't need to run for office, lead a party, or hold a single official position. Without a seat in Parliament, he managed to block an international agreement, force the Prime Minister into retreat, and put the entire political class on high alert. And it all began with one silent meeting with the King. Today, one question echoes through every newsroom, every hallway in Westminster, and every home across the country. Did Keir Starmer secretly try to rewrite Brexit? And did Nigel Farage just save the country from it? What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more UK political news. See you in the next one.